Thank you for staying within the time limit, too.
I shortened it down from 3 pages. I'll swing it around. Thanks. Put my bag on it. Thank you.
Next. Next speaker, come on up, if there is any more. Yes, please. If you would state your name and the town you live in, appreciate it.
Hi, I'm Ruth Sample. Can you hear me? Mm-hmm. I'm Ruth Sample. I live in Lee. I have 2 children at Mastway School, 6 and 9. Their names are Sam and Hannah. So I'm one of the 300-plus people who signed the petition, and it's unclear to me right now whether we're in public comments or whether you're actually doing the agenda item that you added.
No, the agenda item comes later.
Okay. Well, then I guess I'd like to say, first of all, thank you for adding this to the agenda. I appreciate it. I think a lot of us would like to hear what you have to say on the matter, and we're waiting to hear from you. And so I'm just going to look forward to hearing what you have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Yes, go ahead, please.
Hi, Bonnie McDermott, Dover Road in Durham, and I just wanted to say that I support the school board, and it's unfortunate that we have frivolous lawsuits and petitions that are detracting from the school board to take care of our children. And welcome, Superintendent. And I just wanted to thank you all very much.
Thank you. David?
David Taylor from Durham. I was surprised that you started out with a statement basically stating your position on the petition before you even started discussion. It harks back, I believe, to a statement you've read about the students' letters and things of that sort. But you need to have board discussion before you make positions. Secondly, in that, your second point was that there is nothing in law that allows for censure or reprimand. You as a board can censure and reprimand anyone you want. You can put a motion up there to say that we don't agree or we think that his tweets are inappropriate. You have every right to do that, whether it's specifically stated in law or not. So please, I hope you have that discussion. I appreciate you considering it, and I hope you take appropriate action. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else? Okay. Any board comments? Yes, Megan.
I would like to suggest to the board that we examine our code of ethics policy and include verbiage about responsible use of social media. I think it's important that the board and individual board members be held to a standard that includes respecting individual differences based upon race, religion, gender, and sexual orientation. At our last policy committee meeting, which was on August 4th, I did bring this to the policy committee, and in order to achieve this, I've drafted some verbiage that I hope we can examine and put in place at our next meeting, which is on the 25th, I think. Okay. And then if the policy committee brings it forward, then you would have something to look at as a first read that would include this type of language. So I just wanted to mention that.
Okay. Any other board comments? No. Okay, next item is discussion about solar service contract proposal.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Clay Mitchell. I'm with the company Revolution Energy that's going to present on the next agenda item.
Right.
May I use this computer?
Yes. I don't know if it's set up for you yet, but
It'll only take 2 seconds for me to put the presentation on here.
It's on this side.
It's on this side?
Yeah.
Your first name again, I'm sorry.
Clay, C-L-A-Y.
Okay.
I'm wildly presuming that you have PowerPoint on this computer.
Yeah.
Thank you for having PowerPoint. So while I'm doing this, because I'm capable of multitasking, what we're here to do tonight is to talk to you a little bit about what we've been working on over the last few months with some of the staff and your facilities group here at the high school. Now,
Was that the Sustainability Committee?
I'm sorry.
Was that us? No, it was not, okay.
No,
Clarify.
primarily through the administration staff, through Sue Caswell, and I think indirectly with the superintendent. What we've done is Sue approached us a while ago about the technical feasibility of doing renewable energy systems here at your school. What we do as a company is basically exactly that. We find ways to do renewable energy systems. Remember, I can multitask. I'm almost done multitasking. What we do as a company is provide these types of systems for schools and towns and also for commercial entities. The way we do it is we come from a background of working with municipalities. My background is land use planning. I've been a planner and a municipal attorney in the state of New Hampshire now for the last 15 or 16 years. And when we started looking at the concept of working with municipalities and schools about doing renewable energy, to make a long story short, we found out that the complexity was primarily associated with the upfront cost. And so we began to research ways to deal with that. And when we found that there were contract structures and third-party ownership mechanisms and leasing arrangements that allowed for municipalities to avoid the upfront cost, we felt that this was an interesting way to go about it. As we were doing that research back in the mid-2000s, we noticed that most of the companies that did that were giant companies and who were dealing with entities like Kohl's. Kohl's Department Stores is coincidentally one of the largest purchasers of renewable energy in the country. And it's because they've signed multiple contracts with a company called SunEdison, which deploys solar energy on their facilities, and they just buy the power. And that's essentially what we're talking about. What we're talking about here is our company going out, making an investment in infrastructure, connecting that infrastructure to your building and delivering energy, and then having you pay for that energy. It's essentially what you're doing now with different technology, and instead of dealing directly with the utilities, you're going to deal with us for a portion of that. So where we are in the process, I will get to, but I want to be very clear. We are not here to force your hand. We're not here to make you move quickly. We're here to present the option within the context of a unique overlay of many incentives that change at the end of this calendar year. And in order for you to make the most informed decision about your options, we felt that it was important to get it before you in a timely fashion. So that is the explanation for why we're here today and why you're going to hear from us. The best time to do it is before the end of this calendar year. It's not because we want you to do it that way, it's because it makes the most economic sense to you. With me tonight is my partner in the company, Mike Behrman. As well, Lee Consavage is another partner who's an electrical engineer, and Andrew Keller and John Spencer, who are both with Revolution Energy. As well, Bob Coffey is, oh, he's out, okay, is another gentleman from Green Power Management who has been working with us on this project. Together, we make up the team that put these projects together. One of the reasons that we're able to keep these projects lower cost is because a lot of our expertise is in-house. With the team that you see up there, we are able to understand the complexities of financial arrangements, policy, law, engineering, and project management. So we have to contract out very little other than the actual installation of the equipment, which requires electricians and other professional contractors. This is our array at Exeter High School. It's 100 kilowatts. It's tied for the second largest array in the state. We put that array in at no cost to the school. We worked with the CFO, the school district, Nathan Lunny, who is now over at Hampton, And what this is the project around which we formulated this structure in New Hampshire. New Hampshire is unique. Every state treats these systems differently. And because our background and our home is New Hampshire, we are trying our best to make these projects work in New Hampshire. It is a heck of a lot easier to do these projects in other states where the incentives are greater. So if you go to New Jersey, you basically, if you are a school in New Jersey, you would be irresponsible for not putting a solar array on your building because the incentives are so massive in New Jersey, schools are saving incredible amounts of money on their power. We're trying to at least get you to the point where you make a choice. Do you want to buy your power from a solar array that you own that eventually will provide you with free energy, or do you want to continue to buy power from the grid? As the incentives come into play, we can get to that level. It's very difficult to get below it, but we will try our best, and that's what we're here to talk about, that we think we can get there, but there are a couple of caveats, but we don't want to go any further unless you know exactly what we're doing and that you're comfortable with it. So what we've done, we've looked at the high school property. We have two elements. Essentially, we need physical space and we need a load to match. And so you have a pretty significant heat and electric load. The systems we're proposing are only a portion of that, but it is a portion that will be essentially non-fossil fuel. So you will be dealing with renewable heat and renewable electricity. It also gets you into this technology. So as expansion and technologies come on, you can begin to understand how these systems are deployed and integrate them going into the future. The ultimate goal, in our opinion, of a building is to approach the object or the goal of net zero, which means you are using no energy. You're producing as much as you're using. And you do that by coming at it from two angles. You conserve as much as you can, and you produce to the point of where you're zero. And if you make the investments correctly, that energy will cost you nothing. And that's what this is about. It's about an investment in long-term stability and lower cost energy. So working with the administration, we found the sites. We've run through what we kind of call pre-feasibility. We make sure that we even have a project here before we can even take it to the next level. Because once we go to the next level, we really get into pre-engineering drawings. We start looking at your electrical layouts. We get structural engineers, and we do it. We're 90% confident that we can put these systems on the ground here technically. In addition, we're at the same level in terms of economics. So that's why we've bothered coming with this proposal to your meeting tonight. If you want us to move forward, that is when we would get into the final costings of the systems, starting putting together the financing package and develop the contract, which is called a PPA, which is a power purchase agreement. I apologize for using an acronym, but power purchase agreement is the idea that the point of contract is we will produce power or energy and you will purchase it. That's it. All the obligations of operation and maintenance are on us. All the obligations for ensuring the equipment is on us. And if the equipment fails, you do not pay. You only pay for the power produced, and it's metered at that site. I just essentially described to you what a power purchase agreement is. The primary objective for most people who decide to employ these is the fact that it eliminates the concept of upfront cost. Usually when you hear people talk about renewable energy, they want to talk about what is the return on investment. If I'm going to make a stupendous capital investment, how much am I going to save? And you engage in a life cycle costing analysis of what are the savings each year, and does it merit us to spend that amount of money? The power purchase agreement kind of turns that on its head. And it says, if we want to own a system like this and it costs us nothing, are we going to do it? If we were in one of these other states where the incentives are aggressive, the discussion is essentially as absurd as, if we want to save money and own the system and save more money in the future, why wouldn't we want to do it? And so that's why you're seeing massive amounts of solar and renewable energy deployed in Massachusetts and New Jersey. One of the elements to our projects that we do because of our background is we always include educational components. We develop curriculum modules to match the New Hampshire standards. We have now cited we have arrays at an elementary school, at a high school. We have a energy generating device called a combined heat and power unit at a VOTEC, and we just completed the installation of a solar array at Great Bay Community College. So we have begun to develop educational curriculum modules for all levels and all subjects. And we started with science, We've completed English, and now we're moving into more social studies, and finally, which is really the easiest, is mathematics. So we kind of saved the easiest for last and took the more challenging modules first.